75.
Episode 75.
Welcome back, guys.
Welcome back, guys. How's everybody doing today?
Super chill, super good.
I'm doing all right. Work wasn't too tough on me today.
I had to drive to Tampa this morning.
Work sucked for me today.
Fucking traffic was terrible this morning. Was it too bad for you, Jay?
It's always the same for me because it's the morning time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
Morning
today
time.
was especially like typically it takes me about 13 minutes to get to work. Today it took me about 16, 17, a little bit longer.
Hey, what time do you leave for work?
I get out exactly around 8:40. That's typically the time that I try to get out.
Yeah, I noticed today was pretty busy as well because, you know, I was on the road since freaking 5 in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to watch the freaking build up. And I noticed that the first, because I got to the warehouse around at 5, and then we filled up the truck, left around 6. We got to the first Wawa and started doing stuff. And we were there from like 6 to like 7:15, 7:30. It was really busy. And I noticed that too. It was mad busy today. Like even the little sandwiches they have in the front at Wawa that they have like fresh every morning, they were gone. 7 a.m. They were freaking sold out already.
Yeah, I didn't notice that as far as being busy and whatnot. I think it was just regular busy for me, with the exception of one part on the road where the cops just stopped the road and made it only one lane. So that was the build up. But that once that cleared,
They're
it
probably
was about
starting
the
some
same.
construction somewhere and closing it off.
No, they're pulling somebody over.
Oh,
They
had
pulled
someone
somebody over, and this dumbass literally stopped right in the fucking middle. And it's like, bruh, like that. They teach you this, pull to the side, right?
You're allowed to, what they say, like, pull over when you feel safe.
Yeah.
Right? Like, if I'm on the freaking Skyway and this guy turns his lights on, you think I'm going to freaking stop up there? No.
No, hell no. You're going to drive down to the first fucking exit, and you're going to stop like a normal human.
There you go.
You
Or
know
even
what I
if, not necessarily the first exit, but get off the fucking, like, top of the bridge and find, like, a really
That's
big
what I'm
area
saying.
where you can
Like,
stop.
put your blinkers on so the cop knows that you recognize him.
Yeah, like the emergency.
Don't speed. Slow down
Yeah.
to, like, a little bit slower than your normal speed.
I wouldn't even
Just
go under speed limit, right? I would
Yeah, just go under speed limit
Yeah,
and
he'll
just
know.
pull over to the thing. He'll know
Yeah.
that you recognizing this, you know?
What's up, Rodolfo? What's up, Natalie? How y'all doing today?
Yeah, I was just about to tell you, Houston, we have a problem.
What is it?
The keyboard is dead.
Keyboard's dead? I got you, Brody. I got you.
I was about to type to them and nothing was going on. So, welcome info. What's up, man? How you doing?
Yeah, guys, we got technical difficulties.
One
The
second.
keyboard
Going to grab the
keyboard said,
USB.
"I quit." Why weren't you connected with cable instead of batteries?
I got you. I'm grabbing one.
That's all
Yeah.
good. I
So,
mean,
yeah,
typically
so-
the battery on these things lasts a very long time. I don't know why.
So while Eddie's coming back, because we got a bunch of topics for today, guys. We're going to talk about several topics, and just to mention some for you, it's going to be about credit score. Then we're going to talk about a little bit about Apple, the company. Then we're going to talk about a little bit about cars, not the way we usually do, but we're still going to talk about some cars. Then we're going to talk about Tesla, the company, and what they did. Then we're going to talk about a little bit more about watches. Some news for watches.
You bring my book?
Oh, no, I forgot
You
that.
fucking bitch.
I did forget that. And then we're going to talk about a little bit about buying homes and whatnot. I didn't bring the book. I will.
As
It's a
requested.
promise. Yeah. Oh, and then we're going to talk about Musk's and Ukraine involvement. So, yeah.
I've seen that.
So hopefully we get some stuff in. But I want to kick it off with some easy stuff. Did you guys notice? No, I don't know if you were. Yeah, go on check. I don't know, guys, if you notice. I mean, I don't know if you're big fans of One Piece. Did you notice that Netflix has a whole mini series on first season? They just posted the first season of One Piece on there. I don't know if that's something that you've watched.
I don't personally watch One Piece. I know Miguel has, right?
Yeah, it's my favorite anime.
Really? It's your favorite?
Yeah, out of all of them.
Why would you say it's your favorite?
I grew up with it. I really like the art style. I think it's very entertaining, very funny. And I mean, it teaches you some life lessons along the way, like Naruto does.
Yeah.
To some people.
Yeah.
So did you start watching it or no?
No. So right now, that's another debacle. I was using somebody else's Netflix account.
Oh shit,
That wasn't
okay.
mine. So I kind of don't want to pay for my own.
Yeah.
And I don't want to add that to my grandparents' bill. So
I feel you.
Yeah, for sure.
Netflix is getting to a point where it's kind of.
Well, no, they just announced they're like you can't use it.
That's
Like,
that's kind of my what would you call it? That's my strike against Netflix. I'm not fucking paying for your shit, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
There's
family
other
already
ways,
pays
I
for
mean-
it. I'm not paying for it again.
There's other ways.
Yeah. There's definitely other ways.
Yeah.
um,
But anyway, so that One Piece is out there. So if you do guys, if anyone in the chat has watched it,
have you watched any anime
Season
before?
two.
What's up, Peruano?
Season 2 for it is already written.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Have you watched any animes?
No.
I would recommend Demon Slayer.
No, I've watched animes before. Yeah, Demon Slayer is pretty good. Whatever. As far as the One Piece, I've never really gotten to watch.
One
the
Piece
whole
is very
thing.
long. I
What
would
does Natalie say? The live action was actually pretty
I
good.
mean, you can skip
No,
about
I'm
200
not.
episodes
The
of
anime,
fillers.
they did a great job with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's still left with another 800.
Cool. And then, so apparently, I think it's like Harvard linguists or whatever. They said there's this one phrase. If you say that phrase, people usually like take offense to it, no matter what the.
Can I guess that phrase?
Yeah, go ahead.
Is this towards females?
It could be towards all. Doesn't matter.
Just call them a bitch either way, male or female.
No, it's
They'll
not
get
that.
angry real quick.
It's not that. So the phrase is actually, it is what it is, right? So basically,
Holy crap, that's like my
I-
fucking
I-
phrase, dude.
yeah,
I'll
I
tattoo
like-
that on me.
I used to always not mess with Miguel, but like he kind of like passed that phrase on to me when we first
Yeah.
started hanging out.
I love the phrase. It is what it is. I
We
really
s-
love it.
Like every time we would be in the car for lunch or getting to work, and we're talking about work and some fucking bullshit rule or whatever, and at the end of the conversation, it was always "It is what it is."
Yeah, but see that's the thing, and I was thinking about
when
this.
you're leaving work and everybody's asking for help, it is what it is.
Yeah, so this is what I was thinking about. I was thinking, I was thinking it's like the context that you use in, because I love using that phrase as well. And majority of the time, the context that I use in, meaning saying like that's the situation. There's not much I can do about it, and I'm okay with it.
Or you're not
That's-
necessarily okay with it, but like
There's
you
not
said,
much
there's
that
not
you
much
can
you
do
can
about
do
it.
There's
about
not
it.
much you can do about it. I just deal with it, right? But in the context, I think they were trying to frame it was like when somebody's trying to tell their problems and there's something bad happening in their life, and they're like, "It is what it is," which it is what it is. It's like you saying, "I don't care." Well, no, because really, I can't care about something that's happening in your life that you nor I have any control of.
about, right.
So how can I possibly care? So apparently people take offense to that, and they're super sensitive to that phrase. And I was like, you and your research can shove it up your ass, because I'm going to continue using that word. And I don't think we use that word enough. The whole
the
reason
reason
people
why
are so sensitive is because we don't use it enough.
The
If we would have
reason
used
why
it
I
enough,
like
it would be
that phrase is because
I don't
people.
think that's the reason, Jay. That doesn't apply for other words, so I don't
I
think
think
that's
the reason why I like that phrase so much is because a lot of people nowadays get mad so easily about the stupidest, dumbest shit, or get frustrated
And I
Thank
feel
you.
like
for
one of
no
the, and I-
reason. Like if a vase breaks or something again, it's all right.
And I
Just
feel
go
like-
buy another one.
And
Why
I
are
feel
you
like the way
frustrated?
I always found Miguel using it was for that, like to almost put a little bit of a joke or a humor on the situation. It is what it is, and the way he used to always say it, like it wasn't like a complaining thing. It wasn't like a I don't care thing. No. it
Well,
wasn't that.
even if it's not a humor, you know what I mean? Like, bottom line is, shit happens. What are you gonna do? Will you jump off the fucking building? Shit
Yeah,
happens.
you're
No,
right.
obviously
You're right.
not.
Absolutely right, Natalie. Who the fuck is being offended by that? That's insane.
I don't know. So this is what these linguists said, and they said it comes off as I don't care-ish, and a lot of people take offense to that. Hey, listen, I didn't come up with this research; they did, and this is apparently a linguist, right? So, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Anyway, on another topic, let's talk about credit scores.
Okay.
Now, according to experts,
Mine for surprisingly keeps going up, even though I didn't think it would be right now.
yeah, according to credit experts,
It's
what
just your credit recovering because you haven't opened any new accounts.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
what is the score you think you would need to have to get like the best credit cards to basically qualify for everything? What y'all guys think?
What's the best or what's the basic? What's
What's the minimum?
minimum? There you go. What's the minimum credit score I would like to have to?
No, not what you would like to have, but basically, let's say there is a card. They only give it to the good credit score, or like you can get the best rates at the bank, this and that.
So
Like,
what's
what
you're
is
saying? What's the best minimum standard
Yeah.
kind of thing across the board? I would say like 720, 730.
Okay. What about you, Miggy?
Fuck no. 830.
No,
830.
man, that's
Motherfucker, that's 850 is the maximum. 830 shit.
motherfucker. You talking about like the smallest amount of people?
Bro, I
get
already
to
have
800.
that credit score, so it doesn't seem big to me.
All right, go switch to the, because you know people gonna want to see this, or they're gonna say it ain't true. So we're gonna come up with this, and this is according to experts, right, guys? So, uh, so the financial experts say once you attain this credit score, there is really no benefit to scoring higher. Here are the three ways to hit that key threshold, right? So the threshold we're talking about is in your 700s.
You're going far now.
It's in your 700s. The ideal score will vary based on the lender and the product you are applying for. Roseman said, for instances, 740 to 750 is all you need for the best credit card and auto loan rates. But for the best mortgage rates, you'll want to have 760 and above. So there you have it, guys.
I beat you.
Yeah. So there you have it. So a couple of things you can do. Catch up on late payments. You don't have to be a genius to understand that you can't have late payments, right? Like, and by making just late payments, you're losing a ton of money. Number one, you're paying a whole lot in percentage.
I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like the emphasis. I get that you're paying a lot of money, but like even if you're just like talking about like paying late, like the biggest emphasis there is like you're lost in credibility.
Yes.
Right, because every time you pay, every time it's late, right, that goes on to your report. Yep. Every single time they report it. Usually,
that's
depends
what the banks look at it like. They think of he's probably not gonna pay.
Yeah,
but if you just tell somebody your credit score, they're just gonna think you're broke.
Basically.
Yeah. So basically, with late payments come fees attached to it. Not only percentage, but the fees attached to it.
Yes, they do.
Now, what do you guys think is the average credit card percentage rate in the United States?
Average?
Yeah.
It's like 25 probably.
19.9. Yeah,
20?
It's not that high, but it's 20% is an average interest rate. Now, I think in the United States you can go over 35 or 30, or I think it's something in the 30 or in the 30s. You cannot go over that. It used to be like that, but not anymore. There's a bunch of regulations in it, so they can't go over 30% in credit card fees. But think about it. 30% is a lot. So if you borrow $1,000, 30% is $300. $300 is a hell of money. Now if you think about it, if you have $2,000, that's $600. If you have $10,000, that's $3,000 of interest payments that you would need to return if you pay. And just by making those minimums and being late, you literally just like fill in their purses, right? Like with money, you're hurt or
But that's not a month that they do that. That's APR. So it's like they break it down.
They're breaking it down.
So you have to say it's like if it's 2,000, right? You have that 30, so the 600, right? But it would break that down over 12, and then that's how much they charge you over the month. So there's a complicated formula you can figure out. But to make the things easy, you got to look at it this way. Yes, there's a formula to break it down. It comes down to a little bit different, but you got to look at it like a lot of the big chunk of the payment that you pay into the credit card companies goes to their purse. It doesn't even touch. Yeah.
It doesn't even touch basically your.
Fo said there's a finance company that they use in his store that people get 189% APR.
What's it?
What?
He said there's a finance company.
189?
That you give people 189% APR.
Yeah, you're talking about, okay, so I know what you're talking about. You're talking about those payday loans, like you're talking about the cash advance places. Yes, they do.
No, he's talking about a bank or union that they use at his work to sell dogs that gives this.
Yes, those are cash payday advance type of loan.
Okay.
That's what they're using. Those are considered predatory. That you can consider them as predatory type of lending. Because if you don't pay, it's almost like 180 to 200%. It depends which one you're borrowing from. Those percentages are freaking insane. Insane if you don't pay it back.
And my man be selling like $5,000 to $7,000 to $12,000 dogs.
Yeah.
So when you got 100 and 200.
And this is a dog. Think about it. This is a dog. So it's not like a car. It's not like a house that they can come and repossess. If this dog dies and you stop paying on it, so it has to go in under like a personal type of loan, which is unsecured personal loan. And a lot of times if the person doesn't qualify, they will need to use those predatory ones. They need to use those predatory ones predatory loan providers to get you to get you the financing you need. Yeah, it's called Easy Pay. Now it's financing company, but it is like a short-term loan and is not for you. Don't pay. That's just the APR. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. It's very similar. From what it sounds, it's very similar to what what's that place you can go pay your bills? It's got blue yellow sign. M Scott. It's very similar to M Scott's lending,
like cash advance.
Cash advance. Yeah, it's very similar to what it's saying. Anyway, guys. So here, for example, someone who so be careful on how much how much of your credit you use. So technically, it's suggested to not utilize a lot of your credit, right? Like for example, someone who carries a 30,000 debt on a 60,000 of available credit is utilizing 50% of the available credit.
That's not good.
While a person with a $90,000 of available credit and 30,000 debt is utilizing only 30%. So suggested usually is if
That's the breakdown.
Yep.
That's
if your credit utilization ratio is more than 30%, you can lower it by carrying less debt or getting a credit limit increase.
Anything 30% and more, right? So you want to be 29 and below, right?
You want to be 30 and below.
Okay, I thought
anything
it was
30 and above is not considered good.
Right, there you go.
30 and below. So one way you can do it is exactly that.
It's like 10 or 15% that's considered great usage or something like that. It's like
10 to 15% is great. Yeah, so it's always better to pay it all off at the end of the month, right? Like so you're always paying it off. But the point here is either so there's two things you can do, right? One is to carry less debt. Obviously, that's like the easy one.
Right.
I think the better way around it is to carry less debt, but then every 3 to 4 months, every so often, all the credit cards that you're using, contact them and increase your limit. Constantly increase your limit. The more you increase your limit, the better it is.
I remember when, so my first credit card I just got through Bank of America. It's a student card.
Yeah.
Right? I got it for I didn't have to put anything. It's not secured. It's a normal credit card for student. They gave me $700, something like that. I really don't even use that card anymore. And then afterwards, after having that one for like 6-7 months, I got my credit score to right over 700, and then I went and got the Apple Card because Rodolfo told me to get it. And he was like, "Oh, it's a good card. The cash back is pretty good," which it is.
Yeah, it's pretty
good. And now that they have the savings account is even better. That's a really nice caveat, but they didn't have that before. Anyways, now that I have that one, when I had it for like 6-7 months, I went and asked for an increase, and I didn't know you could just literally go to the bank and ask. I thought they had to give it to you.
Yeah, you just go to the bank and you ask for the increase. Like actually, with the Apple Card, it's like through the chat.
Yeah, it's
you
the best
just
thing
message
ever.
him. Yeah,
it's the best thing ever.
You message him on the chat.
It happens in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I remember I had less than $1,000. I think I had less than $1,000 or like right at $1,000 limit when I first got the card, and they bumped me up all the way to like over $3,000, which is pretty cool. Oh, and over not even having them for a whole year. Not even having them for a whole year, but of course, paying off every month.
They were trying to get you to buy that fucking MacBook Pro. That's what they were trying to do.
No, not necessarily. I think it's just more there because they're like we're gonna talk about Apple, and this is gonna be one of the topics we'll touch on this whole credit thing, right? So keep that in mind. We'll get to it. We're gonna get to it. But we're talking about this. I think we should do an episode where we'll go research some cards and just talk about different type of cards. What are the benefits? You know what I mean? Like what kind of credit card you own, whether you have a business or things like that. Because
I've always been interested.
People would want to know about this shit.
I've always been interested. Yeah, we can talk about because I've always been interested. They talk about how there's like that Chase Sapphire card.
Yep.
And another card that are really good together. And I've heard about this. I don't really know much
about
it.
Yeah, we can do some research. I know a little bit about it. I don't want to pretend I'm an expert. Yeah. But I do know a little bit about it, so I can definitely go into it. And see what is Fofo saying. I do this at 3 months because that's when you can get an increase if they approve it. Yes, you're right. Yes, yeah. So what I'll do usually, I'll go in and ask for some ridiculous amount increase. Like I'll ask them for like a $10,000 increase, and they'll come back and say, "Okay, well we can increase it by $5,000," and I'll take it. And every 3 to 6 months, I'll ask again for $10,000-$15,000 increase, and they'll say, "Yeah, we can approve this much."
See, that's the exact same gauge I saw, right? So 9%, anything 9% and under is considered excellent.
Yes.
And then 10 to 29% is good.
Good. Yeah.
30% and over is no
not
longer.
good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's why I like to increase my. So I don't suggest this to everyone. You have to be pretty
responsible.
I don't suggest this to everyone.
Yeah, because it's a really easy thing when you move that credit up, and then you're like, oh, my 30% just went up, right? And then you keep continuously.
Well, not
thinking
only
you have
that,
more, right?
not only that, I keep moving my 30% up. So like the credit utilization I have, it never really gets to 30% ever. Now, what's happening here is because I've increased my limit so much, right? But the problem here is everything that I pay for, everything goes on my credit card, right? Like all the bills and everything go into one place, and then at the end of the month, I pay just one bill.
Right.
But then I'm utilizing that card for everything. So
Yeah,
you kind of have to keep a track of things, because otherwise it can get really, really bad for you.
Natalie had a question. Can you request to have your APR lowered?
Yes, you can request you have your APR lower. You have to call them and say, hey, listen, I have this is really
We
good.
said this, right? Yeah, we talked about
Yeah,
it before.
like there's another company that's giving me lower APR, and this is the company that's going to give me lower APR. Can you match it or lower it? Yes, you can negotiate that and you can lower that. Now, this could be lowered. I would suggest maybe, let's say if you're carrying a balance, then find a card for 1 year that doesn't charge you any interest. They usually will take 2 to 3% fee to transfer that money over
It's
to
well
no
worth
interest.
It. I've done it 2 times.
Yeah, so you basically transfer it over. You have an entire year to pay off that balance with no interest, but then you're going to pay 2 to 3% transfer fee.
Okay.
So let's say if you're transferring $10,000, you're going to pay $300 to transfer the $10,000 over,
then there's no
and then you have
interest for
12
12
months to pay no interest. Now, here's the thing:
a lot of banks nowadays are also giving 2 years. Chase is one of those, but I went in there once to get it transferred, and terrible customer service. So I just dipped and I went to Fifth Third Bank, and they gave me 2 years.
You know what?
Looks like you're wrong,
people
Rodolfo,
have
you
bunch
can
of,
get it lowered.
people might have a bunch of questions. Let's do an episode on credit cards. I'll get some more information on you. But to touch up quickly, you can do no balance transfer. And just like Miggy said, it is helpful if you pay it all off. But here's the problem you have to really, really watch out for. Now that you do this balance transfer, that other credit card that you've been using is empty. You got to sit down and really think about it. What is the reason that I got into this debt in the first place? So you have to really get rid of that habit, because what will happen is if you don't get rid of that habit, you're going to continuously accumulate money and debt on one card, even though you've transferred it over, right? So that's I think more important. But yes, we'll do a whole episode on credit cards. We'll talk about best credit cards.
Cards off that way as well. When you start opening multiple accounts, it's much easier to have just that one payment, like you say, at the end of the month.
You know, my
yes, I agree with
you. So, my father's, because me and my dad have the same name, and Credit Karma, the app, has us confused.
Yes.
And so, like, when I go into the actual app, on my home page, there will be things that have information that are swapped. The moment I click on the tab, it knows it specifically only shows me my stuff. So, like, I remember one time I got a thing and it said bad impact, your limit dropped on this card, and it had a horrible impact. And I remember I saw my thing and I was like, no way my credit score did that. Like, why? And then I went in, and it's insane the impact your credit score can have on if you don't use a car for so long.
Yes, it's usually 3 years, and they'll close it for you.
Not necessarily close it, but they'll lower your limit.
Well, not only that, sometimes they'll close.
Yeah,
the card.
Sometimes they'll close it.
So
That's
let's say
even worse.
It's a $10,000 card that you haven't used in 3 years. Now your limit just went down.
And exactly, and it's the same effect if they just lower the limit, right?
So they say you should really have about 5 to 6 cards open. That's considered a good. Again, guys, we'll go a little more into detail in the next episode. On this, we'll do an episode for you specifically on this. But yes, you're absolutely correct. Like, the cards will close the limit. So there's a trick. So you're gonna have to stay tuned, guys. I know how to go about it.
Bro, this thing of our Credit Karma thing being swapped has got my heart to drop to my ass so many times. Because like his thing is a lot more complicated. Yeah. It has a lot more history. He's got a whole bunch of shit under his name.
And you get many heart attacks every time you open it.
Exactly, every time. And like I'll have the thing where it tells me like 30,000 or whatever, how many $1,000 in debt. I'm like, that's not me, fucker. Stop sending me these messages. Like, and like it. Not only will they send me notifications, they'll send me. It'll show up on my homepage. Yeah. Like these are my. This is my debt. And then the moment I click on it, it comes up my shit. Only.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
So we'll go a little more.
Oh, and actually, so before we move on,
that reminded me of a comedian's joke who said, the U.S. owes China so many $1 trillion, and is like, I don't owe the U.S. shit. I owe Sprint $80, but I don't owe nobody shit.
I was gonna say,
Talking about U.S. owned China, we're gonna talk
before-
about this stuff too. Like I got a bunch of shit.
Credit Karma.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll remember this for our credit episode, so I'll just say it now.
They need to support us. How many times we said
So-
Credit Karma in this damn episode?
Just so you know, those who use Credit Karma, it can be a pretty cool app that tracks your shit on supposedly day to day. It's a very weird estimate, right? Because they actually, from what it looks like, have access to what the report says to the credit bureau.
Yes.
Right? But before the credit bureau makes its decision on how that report impacts your score.
Yeah.
So
We'll do the episode. We'll do the episode on Credit Karma and TransUnion that you get through your bank, and then we'll also do it on a free one.
This, bro.
Well, no, we will remember. If not, people ask questions.
Right.
I already know these things. Yeah, stay tuned, guys.
Jay doesn't want to me to give out the sauce.
Yeah, I don't want to give out the sauce. This is gonna be next step. We'll do the whole episode on this, where we'll talk about this, and then if you have any questions, we'll ask the question. And if we don't know the answer, we'll get you the answer.
It might not be next episode because we're gonna have some guests.
Another episode. Yeah.
Here's a notebook. Write it down, buddy.
Yeah.
yeah, Miggy, be a producer. Write these damn things down.
What's your idea? Let me write it down for you.
Just do Credit Karma,
accurate.
TransUnion, and then do the free credit report, and then also do credit cards. We'll look into this for you guys. We'll get some information out for you.
So I got hopefully Tuesday, Thursday, and Tuesday of the week after that. We should be set up for some people's. Have we contacted the sir?
Not yet. It's coming
him.
next week. Yeah, I told him I'm gonna contact it this week.
Okay, contact them and see when we get it set up. We gotta move, motherfucker.
Yeah,
this is what it is.
Yeah.
He's a busy man, so we gotta get him. When we can get him. You know?
All right, so that's the credit scores. Now let's talk about cars. So let's say you're in a market for cars. Which cars you should buy? If you do not care and all you want to do is you understand that car is just going to get you from point A to point B.
I think we talked about this. If you have 40 grand, buy a Tesla.
Yeah, these are the slower selling cars. New cars may offer big saving, right? So these are the cars that might offer you big saving.
Makes sense. This would be good to look at.
Yeah. So because Alfa Romeo Giulia 99 days to sell. So that on average takes 99 days for them to sell an Alfa Romeo Giulia. Now, I am not a big fan of Alfa Romeo. From what I read, they do usually have a lot of issues. However, you cannot get the top. It's probably going to be one of
I heard the back seat's the size of a shoebox.
Yeah, kind of like my car. GMC Terrain, 102 days to move. And any guesses, guys, what car will be the worst one to sell? I haven't looked at this yet, so I want it to be a surprise for me, just like it is for everyone else. Any guess what would be the car that's like the slowest one to sell?
A Kia Soul.
Kia Soul. What about you, Miggy? I was going to say PT Cruiser, but we don't exist anymore.
What was the question? I was writing something. What was the question again?
What would be the car that's slowest to sell now?
What car you think sits on the lot for the most time? To give you some backstory, right now we're on a GMC and an Alfa Romeo Giulia. They take about 100 days to sell.
GMC's, yeah, I mean, are we talking about just brand?
So, for example, he said PT Cruiser. It's not made anymore, so it doesn't really count. I said Kia Soul.
I'm going to say some obscure Mitsubishi.
Dude, I see so many Kia Souls, though.
I know, it is kind of like a...
It is a popular car.
It is a mom/lesbian car. So
I honestly don't know. I would say GMCs. I don't really see many GMCs.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Mitsubishi. So let's see what we got.
All right. Is GMC Equinox? Is that one of them?
Equinox? Well, the Terrain... Yeah, Equinox is...
Same car, bro.
Same car, yeah. So Terrain is a bit bigger than Equinox, so it's one of those cars that sells slow. Then we have BMW X2, which that car looks ugly. I don't know if you're in BMW, if you buy this, you deserve a slap on the head. Mini.
Do you guys like the other BMW Mark series?
So the M series is
because I've been in a Mark IV and those things have crazy technology.
The M4 is nasty.
Not M4, the X series, the SUVs.
Yeah.
Oh, XM5.
Yeah.
XM5.
Maybe it's Mark something. I think it's Mark 5 or Mark. I'd have to look at the car.
Okay.
So next one we have a Mini Cooper. Jag F-Type.
The BMW SUVs are cool. Some of them can look really nice, especially.
I think they've dropped the quality of the car a lot recent years.
Yeah,
I think so. F-Type, BMW X7 moves super slow because it's expensive as hell. You know what I mean? Like, you have so many options at that price point, even though this is their newest car.
So yeah, it was the Mark 6 then. If there's a Mark 7, there's got to be a Mark 6.
Audi A4, which is surprising because that's their entry level. It's like the, I don't know, what would you compare? That's like the Civic for Audis. You know what I mean?
Accord.
It's like,
Because you have the A3.
oh, that's right. It's like the Accord. Yeah, it's like the Accord. And then you have Buick Encore, which is your Equinox. It's basically the same as Equinox, I think. If I'm not mistaken. And then GMC Yukon, which is surprising to me, but most people probably buy the Chevy, the Tahoes, and
Yeah, because this is so much more expensive for almost the same car.
yeah, BMW iX, which is their
looks gross.
yeah, that's their electric car.
It looks like they tried to make a Rolls. I'm sorry.
And
the
that
car
was,
looks like this.
That looked like it. That looked like it. The BMW iX is the one that sells
Jay,
the slowest.
See
Bro.
how that car looks? It looks like this.
Bro, I've been going to the Wawa. I've been to the Wawa twice now, next to the one on Gandhi, next to the dealership, delivering pastries. Man, every time you go by there and you see all those Rolls Royce and McLarens,
Those nice ass cars,
and
yeah.
fuck,
The
man.
Dimmet one.
The Dimmick Cadillac and McLaren dealership. Yeah. Bro, that shit is so crazy. Just seeing all those cars. And it's like the other day I was watching one of the maintenance guys move a car. And it was funny because you can tell he sat in the car and went to go reach for the door and goes, oh shit, never mind. He clicked the button and the rolls went cluck.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
And
that
bro,
dealership
like,
is one of my favorite dealerships.
bright red, fucking apple red interior. Every single inch. Damn. Nasty, bro.
Yeah.
Nasty.
It's like you want a red car, but you don't want the red. I don't like the red exterior cars, but the red interior.
Red interior when you're getting
Bro.
a nice car, bro. And not even like, for example, remember Kevin's old G37?
Mhm.
They used to come if you get the IPL edition, which he had the IPL body kit, but if you get the actual IPL, you can get them with the red interior.
Yeah.
Really
Really
nice.
nice.
Really, really nice interior.
So Rodolfo, so what do you feel about the Prius? Now Rodolfo, I don't know. When I
Prius?
used to when I used to work in valet. Oh, shit.
See, I
When I
think
used to work in valet, I could tell you a little bit more about it. However, I haven't worked in valet in a while, so I don't know. Like, from what it seems, from what I'm seeing in the pictures, the design looks pretty cool to me.
My mom used to have a Prius.
Yeah.
That shit wasted no gas. It was kind of fire.
Yeah.
Other than that, that's it.
the Prius, you actually have to charge it, or does it charge up?
No,
with,
battery
that's
charges it.
battery charges by itself because it has a
Okay.
gas engine. But
Right.
like they're so, like you're getting like 50 miles a gallon. You know what I mean? Like you're getting hella mileage out of the gallon, right? It's almost
not
the
fast.
same.
It's not
too,
fast.
yeah, I was about to say it's too bad that it's goddamn ugly and really, really slow. Huh?
Well, the new one looks pretty decent. The new one, the redesigned, looks pretty decent.
They've
man.
made like multiple different versions, right? Like they even have a really small one, and they have one that's almost like a crossover size,
Yep.
right?
So talking
Like
about
the
cars,
Prius has almost become its own section.
talking about cars. So this is the newest Toyota that came up, and apparently this Toyota is going to be. It's a 3.5 liter twin turbo V6, 406 horsepower. It's a first ever Toyota Century SUV, and this is what this thing looks like, guys. It is going to be in direct competition with Cullinan. Look at that.
It looks like a Rolls.
Yes.
Yeah. I can see
Direct
that.
competition with the Cullinan, and
The bottom is a Rolls Royce.
look at the
The whole thing is a Rolls Royce.
the boxiness looks like a Rolls Royce.
The
I
whole
agree.
side of that, like the
Yeah.
side panel of like that limo style.
This thing
side.
is insane, guys. Look at this shit. This
I'm
thing
not a
is
fan
like
of
insane.
the
back.
rear.
Yeah, I don't like the back.
I don't like the rear.
Look at
oh
the
my
inside.
god.
Look at the inside, bro. Like this
Okay,
thing.
interior rear.
What?
Yeah,
What?
Interior rear looks really good.
You get freaking premium economy seats in the back.
Yo, the fucking feet come up, bro.
Yeah, bro.
The
This
fucking
is
feet
crazy.
come
Look,
up.
look at this thing.
How much?
This is
This is
a prime
Japan-
fucking
yeah, like,
car.
It's got a fridge in it, you know. So
Imagine you put a little wine right
Hey,
there.
people forget.
okay, so it's approximately $170,000.
How much again?
$170,000. Now at
that's cake.
$170,000.
Let me just go take out a loan.
Yeah, at $170,000, if I'm buying $170,000, I don't know if I'm dropping that on a Toyota.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I'm dropping that on a Toyota. Sorry, but I don't know. But anyway, that's what we got for Toyota. So they're coming up with this thing. I mean, look at, like, dude, it's like a minivan door, but it's in a
got
SUV.
a minivan door.
Yeah, that's pretty legit, bro.
It looks pretty cool on that. I ain't gonna, bro. You know what my favorite part about it? That it's low.
It looks
Yes.
like it looks like
That's my favorite part.
Yeah, it just looks like a big. It doesn't
It's
look
a
like
big.
an SUV.
It's a big hatchback.
Yeah, it's a big-
It's a big ass wagon.
Yeah.
That's what I love about
Yeah.
these new crossovers.
Look at this, bro.
You drop these crossovers and they look nasty.
Dude, these are business
these
class
small
seats, like
SUVs.
premium. Who get premium
Yeah,
economy?
but,
What
I mean,
business
you can,
class
you can only
seats?
do that when you're not really using the front, because if you're using the front, you can't push that seat all the way.
Bro, you don't drive this car.
Well, no,
that's
you
what
would-
I'm saying.
You would be
but that's what
using-
I'm saying.
Because this is a
You-
right.
I mean, you have to have somebody to drive it.
yeah,
this is
obviously.
It's
someone
not
Yeah,
going to
this
drive
is
itself. But what I'm saying is, you can't have somebody driving up there with the seat fully reclined like that.
No, not that seat, but you can have the other seat reclined where the passenger seat sits. Because think about it, this is like you're probably going to work in the morning. Like your wife
Yeah.
and children are not coming with you. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what the whole idea of this car is. But yeah, this is what we got. And then if you got two people, they're not gonna lay down. They're probably doing some sort of a business deal. You know what I mean? So they're sitting down. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I do
It's a
agree
cool
with what
car.
you said, Mindy.
I like it. It's a cool car.
It's pretty cool. Nah, $170,000.
No. How much is the Rolls one? It's probably like what, 270.
Are you talking about Maybach? Maybach's probably close to.
No, not the Maybach. The Rolls
500,000.
Royce.
This Pro 500,000.
Wraith.
Yeah. Maybach and Rolls Royce are probably close to 500,000, 500,000, something like that in that range. Now Mercedes, the GLS,
500K. The
Yeah.
Cullinan.
Cullinan, yeah, the
That's a
Mercedes
bougie
GLS,
ass fucking name.
Yeah, it is. Even the name smells like money. You know?
Yeah, it does. Cullinan.
So GLS is probably close to
I
that
don't know,
price.
man.
See,
I don't,
there
I
you
don't know if
go.
I want a car that's close to colon.
Or like a G class,
yeah.
or what's the smaller one that's a little more sporty?
There's GLE and
GLA.
GLA.
The GLA one, that one's pretty cool.
Yeah,
They-
so
they
there's
made
a GLA,
AMG
GLA,
version.
GLE. Yes, GLA, GLE. You're talking about the hockey puck looking ones, like the little hatchback looking ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, GLA, AMG. Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
You know what's
yeah.
a car that you don't really see very often?
Yeah.
The Lincolns.
Yes, you don't see those very often.
This one.
Yeah. No,
This
no,
is
no,
pretty
no, 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 not.
This is the older one. This
Yeah,
is the newer
that's
ones.
the yeah. Hmm.
But this is the older one I remember I saw
Yeah.
when they came out.
They're pretty good. Yeah.
They're pretty cool looking
Yeah.
car. Sounds nice too.
No.
You know what's nice though? I ain't gonna lie. Where were we at? Here.
No.
What does it matter?
So okay, cool guys. So now
You know what car's really cool? Doctor's Audi.
yes,
That shit's really cool. Sucks it's a Volkswagen, but it's really cool.
Q7.
I
Yeah.
had to say it, but
Yeah.
it's really, really cool.
So guys, one question: what do you think is the most ridiculous accessory product that Tesla came up with? I already accidentally flashed it on a screen. What do you think is the most ridiculous that even Elon Musk himself did not believe they made this product?
I mean,
I've heard about
since
this.
you
I
flashed it
remember.
already, I'm just gonna say it. Starlink.
Nah.
Oh.
I don't know.
So, apparently, Tesla launches accessory so dumb Elon Musk thought it wasn't real. They made a Tesla McFlurry spoon for China. So apparently, in China, they're a lot more on internet, and they're a lot more on like blasting this through the social media and things like that. And it took off, and people were buying Tesla McFlurry spoons. This is inspired by the truck that they made. So there you have it, guys. If you know, go to the Chinese interwebs.
Anyone
Go
ready?
to Temu and buy your Tesla spoon.
Anybody
Yeah, no,
else?
we do not condone you going to Temu. If you're gonna go to Temu, make sure it's like a gift card or something like that.
Yes.
Otherwise, they're gonna steal your
Go get
information.
yourself a Visa gift card.
Visa gift card and use that. Do not like use your credit card in Temu. GhettoRig podcast does not condone buying shit on Temu.
We don't condone you buying anything like that.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, guys. So there you have it.
Anyone
It's a
else
trucking
when they
inspired-
were kids accidentally would think the McFlurry was a spoon, or it was a straw? Anyone else you have that like memory of when they were kids?
No, actually, to be honest with you, I didn't have anything but a Happy Meal until I was about
Damn,
13 years old.
damn, Mickey, you never had a McFlurry as a child?
No.
I don't think I've ever had a Happy Meal as a child.
Well, you were 18 when you got here. You fucking grown bitch.
I wasn't
Well, I mean,
a
we did
child.
We did have 2 McDonald's stores in the entire whole thing of Lithuania. 2 of them. 2 of them, bro. Yeah.
Hey, did you ever go?
Yeah.
What'd you have?
They took you for your
A
birthday.
What'd you have?
A burger, because the child's meal was too expensive. That's all I could afford.
The
was a
toy
fucking
was more
burger.
One
expensive.
burger, that's it.
Yeah, because like there's in economy there's this thing is called the Big Mac index, which means that the Big Mac is a Big Mac no matter what country you go to. So let's say if a Big Mac is $3.50 in the United States, it's gonna be the cost is gonna transfer over to other countries, right?
And they say the biggest thing they say about McDonald's is the consistency, right? So it's like when you have your Big Mac in Florida, and then you go have your Big Mac in Dominican Republic, it's like the same Big Mac, that supposedly, right? Like that's like
Yes.
their biggest thing.
Yeah, there's consistency, and the consistency not only in flavor and looks, but also the
Price.
the price as well. So yeah, so
when
they
McDonald's pulled out of Russia, they made their own sandwich over there.
well they always have their own. Like all of these countries always have their own little like a fast food
Of
place
course.
that makes their
Of
own.
course.
Like it's just like for example, in Lithuania, it's super popular to ride with Bolt, not Lyft, not Uber. The company is Bolt. Super popular in Lithuania, Latvia, Estonia, even Russia, right? Like they don't like Uber as much over there. They just like Bolt. So they all have their own little thing, and a lot of times they're like, "Oh, that's some American propaganda shit. We don't want it," right? So they create their own stuff, right? A lot of times they'll use it, but so yeah. So talking about Elon Musk, so apparently, Elon Musk
Saved
has
us
been
from World War III.
yeah, apparently, that's what he said, right? That, not to be a joke, but so Musk secretly used Starlink to foil Ukrainian drone attack on Russian ships. So basically, what he did, they're saying that Elon Musk basically told the employees to cut off the Starlink service to the drones that were equipped with payloads to hit these Russian ships in the area of Crimea, right? Is it not Crimea?
Yes.
But
Yeah, it is. It says that Crimea, yeah.
Crimea. So
The occupied coast of Crimea.
yeah, the coast of Crimea, and Elon pretty much the story goes to say that Elon's reasons were, if they would have hit the ships with the drones, it would be considered the next Pearl Harbor to Russia, and Russians would have retaliated with a nuclear weapon. But this is what he thinks. Now, could this be true?
Wait, he came out and said this?
Correct.
Yeah. Well,
And this is all in promotion of his new book coming out soon.
yeah, not only that, the whole thing about this is he came out and said, listen, I gave him the Starlink to give them internet so they can have internet. Now they're using Starlink to fight. And he goes, now I am in a war.
He thinks
No, man.
this man thinks he's Oppenheimer.
Come on. Okay, I get you're the one providing internet, and now they're using it. But you didn't think they were going to fucking do that in the first place?
Yes. So his initial thing was like, let's give him internet so they can have some sort of connection. His initial
They
thing
need
was...
entertainment. Bullshit.
Well, not
They're gonna use
entertainment.
this.
I think it's just connection
Yeah,
with
they're
outside
going
world,
to use it for
communications.
communication for their war effort.
Yeah, that's different than using the Starlink for specifically like guiding missiles and shit to attack other ships. I don't know
if
who's
you ask
right
me,
in this.
If he's using it for war effort, they're using it for war effort at the end of
So
the day, right?
initially-
Like,
Yeah, but he's
still
right though.
supporting.
He's right though, because that's dragging him into war. Because now Russia, entire country of Russia,
I don't think it is.
What he meant to say was initially when he created Starlink, that's what he wanted it to be used for, but he never foresaw the possibility of it being used as a weapon in war. Now, initially he provided the satellites. It was about 100
yeah,
whatever, and then the Pentagon wanted to give him $125 million because he was like, no, I don't want to fund this anymore. You guys have to fund this. But then he ended up just saying, fuck it, we'll actually fund it. And that's how the Starlink satellites got there.
So, and I don't know if this has anything to do with his dad recently coming up and saying the life of my son is in jeopardy. However, we've all known that him and his dad are kind of estranged. They're not really on talking terms. they're saying that if he continues on the path that he continues, he's gonna get killed because he's so rich and he's got so much technology in everywhere that he's literally like influencing countries right now. Like the fates of countries are being influenced by his technology and things like that. So he's, I don't know, you want to call him the modern day Tony Stark or whatever you want to do, but that's what the man is. Now, another thing, Tesla made contracts with a bunch of different automakers, Hyundai, Mercedes, BMW, to lend them his superchargers, which means the other companies can use his superchargers to charge their cars. So he could technically create, I heard this on one of the podcasts, they said he created the war of shaving equipment, but he's selling the blades. You know what I mean? Which he's selling the gas stations. Because apparently BMW and Mercedes came around and they showed like hella technology, hella new cars coming in. So everyone is pretty much starting to get caught up to Tesla.
This is my understanding of this. Allowing them to use the superchargers, right? That means, to use a supercharger, you have to use my plug.
Yes.
From now on. I mean, I'm sure there's their adapters. There were adapters, but now that he's collaborating with them directly, now
can you use an adapter with this fast charging ass battery? You know what I mean? Not to melt the shit, right? You know?
And then here comes the thing. He's going to basically monopolize that part of the industry.
Yes, and he's going to make money off of that.
Now every single electric car is going to be probably using Tesla proprietary charging.
Yeah, and he pretty much sold them a subscription service across the world to all of the car makers.
And they can't, they're not gonna go after him for trying to monopolize this shit. It's crazy.
How can they? Well, then build your gas stations. He's not going actively there.
I mean, it's not necessarily build your gas stations, but all the other cars already use the same port.
Once again, proven that Elon is a fucking genius at marketing. He was like, I'm gonna show you what you can do with this, and then I'm gonna sell it to you so you can make it better.
Yeah.
From my knowledge, all of the electric cars from like the BMW I series and all these other
no, the plug is a little bit different
from Tesla.
Yes,
but for those cars, they're all using the same one.
I think they are. I don't know exactly how
Tesla
it works.
right now is I think one of the only
Tesla
ones
is
that's
like
using
the Apple.
Exactly.
They're Tesla is like the Apple. Everybody's like an Android.
And instead of going to USB-C, they said, "No, bitches, y'all gonna use Lightning."
Yeah. Because
that's crazy.
Because he knows there's no gas stations, there's no charging port. What are you gonna charge?
My thing is, how does he get that to work? Because that Apple couldn't get that. Apple couldn't. No way was gonna get that to happen. USB-C trumped it and blew it out of the water, and now they're forced to switch to USB-C. How the fuck is Tesla gonna backwards that on the market?
You gotta look at it at the initial market entry, right? It costs a lot of money to get all these chargers. Once you develop the chargers, now you gotta go out there and build them. And all this is money and time. And most of these companies, we're already behind Tesla.
So they're just gonna outsource it completely, basically.
Yeah. So for right now, and then Hyundai came back and said, "Well, we're gonna build our own little stations." Tesla's been doing this shit for the past 30 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Good luck, Hyundai. That's gonna be a lot of money, and how long it's gonna take for you to get there. By the time you get there, he's always been 10 steps ahead of you guys, right? That's the reason he was able to succeed, because he's always been 10 steps ahead of you guys. So yeah, so that's what we got on the Tesla's front. So that was on our Tesla front. Now, perhaps for our watch lovers, so
this is
I don't know how to pronounce this. Blank pain, blank span. I don't know. There's a French,
the new Swatch.
Yeah, and Swatch group they came together and created so remember kind of what Omega did with Swatch? They created those moon watches.
So for background, if you guys don't know, the moon watch, the Omega Speed.
I'm gonna pull it up.
Oh, right. Jay will pull it up. I'll tell you. The Omega Speedmaster, right? They call it the moon watch. It's the one that went to the moon, right? That's exactly why it's called that. Anyways,
this was the first watch on the moon, basically.
Right, there you go. First watch on the moon that I'm assuming Mr. Armstrong wore.
Yeah.
Right?
One of them.
So, anyways, these watches are not cheap. Omega is a pretty high, what I would consider high-end luxury brand. This is a $5,000-$6,000 watch, right? Now, they came together with Swatch, which, if you guys don't know, is a really relatively cheap watch brand, right? and they came out with the moon swatch is what they did. They collaborated, and oh nice, they made these basically cheap Speedmasters is what they did, and they are all themed by the planets in our solar system. So Jay's pulling them up here. We'll have to take a look at these pretty cool watches.
I'm gonna show you the actual Speedmaster that
there you go.
Eddie was talking about, the watch that went to the moon. So
that's
just
it right
think
there.
of this one. This
it's sexy.
It's pretty similar to the original one, with the exception with a couple of design changes, but from outside looks similar.
Let me tell you something. When you look at this watch, on pictures, it kind of is like you kind of bat it off as like, oh, another chrono looking watch. You really do.
Yes.
But when you see it in person, this thing is not like any other chrono watch. It's really nice.
So just
it's
to
beautiful.
Give you an idea what chrono means, guys. Chronometer, meaning it measures time. And these numbers you see here is a tachymeter, which means you can measure the speed of the car. So this is a race watch. You can literally use this watch as to time a lap speed of the car, the speed of the car, so on and so forth. So this is what this watch was designed for, to be a race watch, right? So now let's go into swatch watches that Eddie was talking about. And these are the constellations. Each one of the iterations of the watch are named after one of the planets, and each have their own color. So as you can see, it's pretty similar. Now the watch we showed before is a mechanical watch, which means it does not require a battery. It operates off a movement of your hand. It's an automatic watch. These are battery driven.
These are what they call quartz movement.
Yeah, Swatch Watch Group owns Omega. So it's all under the same group, right? Like the Swatch itself has their own mechanical watches, which are the cheapest mechanical watches in the world that you can buy, with the exception of Seiko.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes they go even cheaper than Seiko. But anyway, so this is what these watches look like, and each one is, named after one of the planets. So these are the Omegas, the colors different, so on and so forth.
I think it's which one? Keep going.
Mm-hmm.
There's one of them that's really. I think Neptune is one of the ones that's hardest to get.
I'm not sure which one is hard to get, but they're all kind of like, it is what it is type of deal.
Yeah,
right?
but in perspective, you can get these watches. I think in like the $400 to about $600 range right now, and this is second hand. They were I think in like the $300 range retail.
$200 range.
$200 to $300 retail, and they're going for around $600. Which
so they're now double the price.
Exactly double the price. But even in retrospect, you get to say you have an Omega in your hand for less than $1,000, which is not something easy. But at the end of the day, it's not really an Omega, right? Because like he just explained, you have something that's mechanical to now battery powered, and it's I think it's made out of plastic. It's plastic. Mm-hmm. They all come with just a basic strap. That's like just NATO made strap. Out of what is it?
NATO strap,
Velcro strap. There you go. That's what I was trying to spit out. Velcro.
So now Blanc Cipain made so it's 91 meters, 300 feet, and these are waterproof watches, right? So the cool part about this watch, it's a battery driven watch that can go up to 300 actually, yeah. No, so anyway. So the whole thing is these watches, 50 fathom watches, and I think they are battery driven, if I'm not mistaken. They could be mechanical. I haven't looked into it. No, they are mechanical. Sorry, they are automatic. So they came out with a bunch of different colors on this, which the prices of these are going to be expensive, right? Like the prices are going to be high on these.
Yeah, these aren't plastic swatches. No.
Yeah, they're not plastic swatch, even though they kind of look like. So the prices on these are gonna be much higher. Some of them
you can tell they're like
now,
just stainless or whatever.
Now these 50 fathom watches, right? Now you have to be a diving watch connoisseur to understand that this is a pretty decent watch. An average person doesn't know anything about the diving watches except for the Rolex Submariner.
Let me guess, it has the whole helium release thing.
No, this one, I don't think this one has the helium release because it's only 300 feet, right? Okay. Like if it was deeper than that, like 600 feet, then it would need the helium release.
Yeah.
But this doesn't have the helium release on it.
I still don't understand too much how that works. It's to regulate pressure.
So so with the pressure, you basically have to push that and release that helium that comes out from otherwise it'll crush the watch basically.
Right.
Heat will fuck up. I mean the weight.
The
will
pressure,
fuck up. Yeah. So I don't know how they're gonna do. I'm sure they're gonna sell. Now I don't know how well they're going to sell these watches, and that's basically the bottom line on these. We'll see what happens in the whole scheme of things. And where was this article that I was pulling up? I think it was here. Yeah, so this is the article. Oh no,
that's drone attack.
That's Elon Musk. Anyway, so it doesn't matter. So yeah, so those are the Swatch watches that came out. That's the newest thing that came up as far as the watches. Now, let's talk about. We got two more topics. This and we'll talk about Apple. What do you want to talk about? Houses or
let's go Apple.
All right, so Apple. Let's talk Apple. So Apple, what Apple has done lately. So Apple's stock plummeted today.
It's because you talked about it the other podcast.
No, Apple stock plummeted today. Why? Because China came out and said China pretty much bans all the Apple phones. Chinese government is banning Apple phones. Whether it's for government or personal use, I don't know exactly, but they're banning it. So because of this, stock market took this, and then Apple's shares plummeted, which pretty much like deleted, I think, like 20 or $200 billion of Apple's cap. That's how much it went, or 20 billion. Anyway, big amount, because Apple is worth almost $3 trillion, right? So apparently, Elon Musk been slowly moving a lot of stuff to India, because India is poised to overtake China in the amount of people that live there and the production, so on and so forth. So India is about 10 years behind United States and China, which is kind of a bad thing and a good thing at the same time. It's like they have a bunch of issues with their infrastructure, so on and so forth, but they can look at us and say, okay, well, this is what they've implemented. These are the mistakes that I've made. Let's not make these mistakes, and just kind of because they're behind, they can build this infrastructure, right? And China was like, well, we gave you all this free stuff. We'll let you work here, and now you're taking our business away from us. So I think they kind of got pissed about it, and that's what made Apple stock to plummet.
Okay.
Now, this is the news about Apple. However, I want to talk about Apple about something else. Do you guys remember back in the day where there was this mass shooting, and the shooter had an Apple phone, and FBI asked Tim Cook to unlock the phone? And do you guys remember what was Tim Cook's response?
He said, nope.
He said, you can go fuck yourself. We're not unlocking this phone. Right? Because he was like, this is integrity of our product. Our people believe in our product being secure. And if we unlock it, we'll lose credibility within our community. And they try to put sanctions against Apple. He's like, nope, we're not doing this shit. And he never did it. Never unlocked it. Right? And that was a huge deal, because they were like scrambling to figure out black boxes, this and that, how to unlock this phone, because Tim Cook would not do it. Okay. Right? I think it was during Obama when this mass shooting happened in 2016. Anyway, now, recently, this is what happened. Liberty Safes. Now, if you can, let's pull up Liberty Safes. Liberty Safes.
Man, that watch is sexy.
Yeah, that watch is nice. Liberty Safes is one of the biggest safe producers in United States. It's very well trusted by a lot of weapon owners. And a lot of people buy these safes and consider this as one of the most secure safes out there in the world, right? So guess what happened lately? And listen,
I'm assuming the stories correlate.
So one of the persons involved involved with Proud Boys and the attack on the Capitol,
January 6th,
was arrested. And he had one of these Liberty safes. And guess what Liberty safes did? They unlocked the safe without any court orders or nothing. So now, and then they went back into the so they basically pulled a Bud Light, right?
Oh my gosh, that's a way of saying
that's a far stretch, I think, but okay.
Well, I mean,
sure. I mean, like I said, that's a way of saying sell out.
Yeah,
I mean, to this day, Bud Light, because of it'll come back to Liberty Safe, because of the marketing strategy that they took with
Don't go into that.
You could say like Biggie sell out.
Yeah, well, because of the marketing strategy that they took with Dylan Mulvaney, right now they're still taking a hit. Right now, it's been way past that, and they're still taking a hit for that.
Just like him, huh?
Liberty Safes went and did something very similar, and they opened the safe up to FBI. Now,
what have people said?
do I agree with what the Proud Boys have done or are doing or not. I don't give a, like, you shouldn't be doing that. However, you as a company, should you sell out your integrity without a court order, where remember, Tim Cook, with the court order, he said we're not going to open this. Pretty much. I think it was a court order there, and he said we're not going to do this.
Yeah, I would have.
Would you have opened it?
Yeah. Because I'm against what those people stand for.
But, so you're for the mass shooter?
No, I'm not against, not necessarily.
So do you see him, Sam?
I get what you're saying. But
see what I'm saying? Because it's integrity of your product. Now, give me all the proper documentation, and I will do it. No problem. I will do that. However, the thing is, you have to understand, who are the people that are going to buy your safe? The ones that are going to own weapons, right? And the ones that open weapons, they like their privacy. This is the reason why they bought the safe.
Yeah, see, but
so it's safe sometimes.
I don't know if I necessarily agree with Apple either. Because Apple going into their own product, I don't know if that necessarily messes with their integrity. The same thing with Liberty.
Yeah, but see, the thing is, the reason I like Apple is because it's super secure. I like Apple because of the reason. Not that I do any kind of extra shit. There any kind of things that I don't care. Right now, anyone can look at my phone, right? That's not the point. The point is that I like the integrity of the product, that no one can unlock my phone if I don't want them to.
But Apple can themselves, and I get that they can, but they're saying they won't due to the integrity.
Correct.
I don't necessarily agree with that because of the cause that it's going towards.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but then again, people buy the product, they believe in the product because of that.
I don't think that that's gonna mess with public integrity. That they helped with Proud Boys safe, or that they helped.
It happened to Liberty Saves, because Liberty Saves had to track back. They're already taking a hit.
How they take a hit?
Well, their sales are started going down. Like literally, they plummeted.
So less racist people stop buying Liberty.
No, I mean I think less people started buying, regardless whether they're racist or not. It has nothing to do with racism or anything like that.
See, but the thing is, I don't feel like
I'm buying a safe. I don't want anyone else besides me opening my safe. Why are you opening my safe?
Well, because you were committed of a crime at this point.
What the point here is that they actually have this information stored on their thing, and anyone on their company can open the safe. Well, so it's a disgruntled employee and open your safe.
No, it's not to that extent, brother. That's not the.
I don't know. My thing is, it has nothing to do with racist people. I think it has to do with the company. So if you,
I'm just saying the remark in a sense. I feel like the people that are going to stop buying it are the people that.
So what is the point of you buying a safe if anybody can open it?
It's not like anybody can open it, bro. It's that the FBI is asking the company of the safe to open the safe because these people have been committed of a crime.
Get a court order.
I get what you're saying. Go through the official stuff. I understand that too. I understand that. I definitely get it. I'm not necessarily arguing against that point. I'm just saying that I wouldn't necessarily argue against the point of like being okay with opening the safe either.
Yeah. No, I don't know. My thing is I feel
like it depends on the grounds of the situation.
Yeah, I think my thing was like they were opening the safe just to see what this guy has in the safe, whether he has the same weapons. They maybe took weapons with them.
Liberty was a little curious too.
Yeah, they're probably all curious. You know what I mean? But the whole thing is, it's not like this guy probably all he has is a bunch of weapons in it and a bunch of bullets in it. Right? That's all he has is this damn safe. Who knows?
Right? Maybe he had plans in it. That's what they're trying to figure out, right?
the also talking about Proud Boys, the leader of the Proud Boys, he was caught indicted in. To prison for 20 years. Guess what's his name?
I would like to know. Also, good chat.
Yeah. Guess what's his name? And he's accused of being racist, so on and so forth. Obviously.
Well, I mean, if he's the leader of the Proud Boys. Guys, remember to like, subscribe, and please comment. We love interaction with us when you guys talk with us about whatever.
Guess what's his name?
Shooting the shit about. What's up?
Enrique Tarrio. He's half Hispanic, half African American. This is the gentleman that's been accused of racism and put in jail. Racism towards who?
Wait, so because he's black, he can't be racist?
To his own people?
Bro, he can still have all the stereotypical opinions he wants to have.
to your own people.
Yeah.
Then I don't know how racism. I really don't understand how this whole thing works. I really don't understand how this thing works. Now I can say this guy, he looks like he could be, even though he might not.
I mean, I get what you're saying. The probability is like, okay, why is this?
I'm saying this guy might be in the background.
Maybe.
Gentleman here
maybe
looks
I'm
Hispanic.
Wrong, which is just
Gentleman here looks Hispanic. Looks Hispanic. Now I don't know if, according to his name, Tario Enrique. I mean, that's very Hispanic name to me.
I mean, we are being
very,
serious.
very big deep into the bean names. Enrique.
Yeah, I mean, now I don't know how he's being accused of that. So until now, the longest prison term connected to January 6th had been 18 years. That sentence was issued last week to Ethan Nordain, which that sounds like a racist name, one of Mr. Tario's co-defendants. The same sentence was given in a separate case in May to Stuart Rhodes. Again, very white name. The penalty imposed on Mr. Tario at the 3-hour hearing in federal district court in Washington was the final sentence to be lodged against the 5 members of the Proud Boys who were tried on a seditious conspiracy charges earlier this year. 3 other men in this case, blah blah blah, between 10 and 17 years in prison, right? But all the sentences handed down so far, Mr. Charios was the most notable, not only because of its length, but also because of what it suggested about the current state of the Proud Boys. Within days of the Capitol attack, the far-right group became a priority for the FBI inquiry into January 6th, as investigators quickly determined that dozens of its members had played decisive roles in breaching barricades and assaulting the police. In the scenario of separate prosecution, of which Mr. Tario's sedition trial was by far the most important, the Justice Department all but
decapitated.
Yeah, can you read? Maybe it's
Department
too far away
all
from
but
me.
decapitated the group's national leadership and mostly put an end to its involvement in large-scale and often violent pro-Trump rallies in cities across the country. But the Proud Boys as a whole survived, persisting in their role as foot soldiers for the right, in the words of one member who testified for the government at Mr. Tario's trial. In recent years, the group has repeatedly inserted itself at the local level into conflicts over issues like coronavirus restrictions and the teachings of anti-racism in schools, and has taken part in attacks against LGBTQ pride events. Explaining why he had imposed 22 years, Judge Timothy J. Kelly read aloud the seditious conspiracy statute, noting that it was a serious offense. Mr. Tario, he added, was the ultimate leader of that conspiracy and had been motivated by revolutionary zeal. For Mr. Tario, 39, the sentence ended a brief but belligerent career as a prominent force among far-right groups during a period when they moved from the fringes forward or towards the center of conservative politics. Mr. Tario was in charge of the Proud Boys, which had long espoused a kind of violent patriarchal nationalism, when Mr. Trump famously called it out during a presidential debate against Joseph R. Biden, telling its members to stand back and stand by. A Floridian of Cuban descent, rarely seen without the uniform of sunglasses and a baseball cap, Mr. Tario took control of the Proud Boys in 2018 after the group's founder, Gavin McKine, stepped aside with long-standing ties to pro-Trump figures like Roger J. Stone Jr. Mr. Tario was enough of a celebrity in right-wing circles that even prosecutors who secured his conviction referred to him in sentencing memo this month as a naturally charismatic leader and a savage propagandist. As he left the...
I think it's good enough. Yeah. But the point is, he's a Cuban...
Yo, New York Times writes some fucking long articles. Fuck them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they gotta hit their fucking word
you
quota.
call it whatever you want. You know,
so
forced by this man here to make you into the Google translator here. You know?
Yeah, bro. I mean, you know, the whole thing.
Look, I'm gonna get into this, Jay.
Cuban
Ready?
African.
I have met people of Afro-Latino descent.
Yes.
And they are of complexion just like his, or even darker.
Yeah.
Because of some whatever reason, they are excluded from what you would label as someone as that he's black, right? Mm-hmm. They think they're excluded, and bro, I have found these people, and they have a lot of what you would say racist intention in them, talking about black Americans.
So this is what I want to know.
And then also, like, look, I'm not gonna say anything else, but that when you look this dude up, the first thing it says is the leader of the neo-fascist group Proud Boys. I don't need to say anything else, bro. I don't need to say anything else.
Yeah, no, I get that, but this is what I'm trying to figure out. When someone says racism, does racism work both ways, or is it just one way?
What do you mean?
So does racism work both ways? Let's say a white person is racist against all the other ethnicities.
Racism can work in any way because for some reason,
I agree
am
with
from
that.
the Dominican Republic, and I don't like Lithuanian or Armenian people, and I know someone that's Lithuanian or Armenian that's a piece of shit, and
Well,
now
that's
I put
nationalism.
that, and then no.
That's nationalism. That's not racism. Racism would be, it has nothing to do with Lithuanian or Armenian people. Nationalism is like, well, because they're Lithuanian, I think of my nationality as a Dominican better than everybody else. That's why they're fucking suck. But the racism would be, in my opinion, racism would be, I don't like them because they're white, or I don't like them because they're yellow. I don't like them because they're this.
Let's look at the exact definition, my friend.
Yeah, I think it's against a group because of the color of their skin or ethnicity.
You can be considered extremist nationalist.
Yeah, so nationalist is something different. It's like coming in and saying,
So,
I'm better than them
I'll
because
give you
X,
the
Y,
whole
Z of
entire
nationality. Yeah.
the whole entire thing. Prejudice, discrimination,
Yes.
or antagonism by an individual, community, or institution against a person or people in the basis of their membership in a particular racial or ethnic group,
Yep.
typically one that is a minority or marginalized. So I understand what you're saying.
Typically, one that is a minority marginalized. It says typically,
Typically, not
but
always.
it doesn't mean to
So
me.
in-
Well, this says typically that's when that happens, but
That's just
it's
saying.
not.
That's just giving you the scenario on typically how it happens. No,
So
that's not actually
let's say
breaking down the
so
definition.
let's say let's take an African country that is, let's say, 95% black, and there have 5% white people. So would that be considered racist if they came in and said, we hate these white people? Would that be considered racism?
Yes.
Say it again. Re-explain.
So let's say it's an African American country. Let's take Ghana, or Djibouti, or
Whatever countries right next.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we take that, or Zimbabwe, or
Wherever,
Uganda,
bro.
whatever. And so let's say 95% of this is African descent, that they're born and raised
Yeah.
there, and you have 5% that are white or any other color besides being black, right? Them coming in and saying, I hate these people, would that be considered racism? According to the definition, would.
Why do they hate these people?
It doesn't fucking matter, for whatever reason. They don't like them because they're white.
They don't like them because they're
That's
white. There you
racism.
go.
That's what I'm saying. So would that be considered racism?
Yeah.
then? So then in that case, racism can go both ways, right?
Anyway, it
Yeah.
can go anyway.
Yeah.
So now, yes. So I agree with that. I agree totally that racism can go both ways, and I
then
think it's wrong in both ways.
I agree. I also think that racism isn't only just color of skin specifically.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like racism also seems, or maybe it's nationalism, even breaking down, but it's still a prejudice in these things happening. Is in the sense of, like,
It's
for
still towards an
example,
ethnic group.
there you go.
But ethnic group.
So,
Mhm.
what I'm trying to say is, like I was trying to just break it down earlier, because you're from this place, I don't like you. Or because I'm in a, like, for example, I've experienced.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
I've
Yeah, like
experienced-
specifically from.
I've experienced this kind of racism myself, where it's like, because you speak Spanish, I have some kind of, like, ill
issue
will
with
towards
that.
you.
Yeah.
Ill will
Yeah.
towards you, right? And things like that, or because you dress some kind of way.
So for example, like, a lot of people after the Pearl Harbor and the war in Japan, like, a lot of the people that went to Japan to fight came back and they hated Japanese people because of the atrocities that they saw there. Not necessarily they just blame Japanese people for that without understanding that not everybody's like that. I get that. But what I'm trying to say, if it works both ways, right? Now here's the thing. Because for you to be racist, so I can say, like, he's Hispanic and he doesn't like, let's say, black people, right? This guy. So that would be racist. With him being Hispanic, not liking the black people, it'd be racist. I do agree with that. But how can you go by and say, like, that? How can you go by and say it's a neo-fascist group and they have a leader that is not white? That makes no sense to me.
Well, that's just because they're stupid.
Maybe it's a front. Maybe it's a throw off.
Throw.
The Illuminati.
Trying to throw you off,
the
bro.
Illuminati.
They're purposely trying to throw you off because someone wants to look at the group.
So they have a whole they have a whole
they've
Illuminati group on that end too.
They just brainwashed this poor Cuban boy to make him the puppet.
The puppet, is that what they did?
They got him straight from
Yeah,
the raft.
I'm just talking shit.
I think there's a lot
No,
more
man,
to it.
like-
I think there's a lot more to it than just white and black saying these people are this and these people are this. And I'm not
No, it's
condoning
definitely
anything that
it's
they
definitely
do.
deeper than that.
Yeah.
It's definitely a little.
So
bit
for
deeper
us to
than
come
that.
in and say, well, he's a racist, he's this and that. Now, did he fuck up with this whole thing?
my
on the
best,
juices?
my best,
Probably.
Well, my best assumption is that he's racist, and I'm probably right.
But he can be only racist against white people. And that's it. To me, that's the only people
Who
that he can be
knows?
racist. And Asian people, maybe.
Why do you think he can't be racist towards a black person?
Because he's half black.
Bro, listen. You don't think this in your brain, but like I was trying to explain to you
Yeah.
earlier, I've met other Afro Latinos that for some reason find that themselves are some kind of exclusion to this stereotypical black person.
So
They
they're,
don't-
they're pretty much like, because we're light-skinned,
Not
like,
necessarily
don't
because
apply.
we're light skinned,
No.
but because our culture, his culture is different.
Okay.
He is looking at the
He's a
black
special
ethnicity
kind of
group
race.
of Americans, I think, is what I'm assuming. These are assumptions, but this is what I'm trying to
He's
say.
not just-
And anecdotally, I've met people that are Afro Latino or black
Descent, yeah.
black descent. They got black skin,
Yeah.
and they're talking shit about black Americans, saying racist ass shit.
Mhm.
It can happen. This is what I'm trying to say.
I see what you're
They
saying.
for some reason they don't associate themselves as that as that
even,
group.
Even though they come from the same
Even
roots.
though they're still a black person, they're not necessarily just hating on the color of their skin. They're hating on that group,
The
and
ethnicity
that
and
group,
the group
is
itself.
that group is a color of skin, and so but there is a prejudice there, and it's racism.
Yeah, because they're part of that group,
Yeah,
and
so
just
you-
so
you can
happens
have-
they're black.
So you can have like
It's not so happy.
You can
Oh,
have
it's
right-
part of
that-
it.
It's part of it.
Okay.
It is
you
part
can
of
have
it.
African Americans.
You haven't
hating-
heard the amount of times you hear Hispanic go "ese maldito negro." You haven't heard that? You've heard that? I know you've heard that.
Yeah, but it's a maldito gringo. I've heard that too.
Yeah, you've heard that too,
Yeah.
and that's also because we don't use the saying that you're a gringo or you're a negro, like we don't use that as an association of like as a derogatory term. We
Yeah.
just like
Indication of who it is.
indication of who it is. We call it as it is.
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's something that's
Yeah, no, I
that's-
get it.
That's very big and
Yeah, I get it.
like
I think it's
dialect.
we're the ones that put these stupid ass labels on things. I think especially the Western world, I think we're the ones that put these labels on it, and then we get offended by this shit, right? What happened?
Emily's just agreeing with me.
Oh, yeah. So I think we just put these labels on it, and then we just get offended by the shit that doesn't maybe necessarily exist. Like in his case, I don't know. I'm not part of this group.
So
nor
you
I
have
do
to
know anything about
understand-
this group. Like if they're doing that, then
You
they're
have to
fucked up.
understand when things are being used as derogatory and they're trying to actually put someone down with this, right? Like,
But see, this is the
has
problem.
Prejudice intent, and I understand. Where
This
you're
is
gonna
the
go with
problem
this.
because
I
when
understand
I
where you're
say
gonna go with
something,
this.
I'm not trying to put somebody down with that. Like I don't have it in that. Maybe this is why I'm not understanding this, because like a lot of people will say things and it's because they're trying to put somebody down.
Damn, you're still a tropical smoothie, babe. What the hell?
Yeah. So
Yeah, I just understood her message. I thought I had only received a question mark.
squirrel.
And she was asking me if I wanted anything from Tropical Smoothie.
Yeah.
It took me like 30 minutes.
You were saying, brother.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, when I say things, I don't mean it to put somebody down because of the color of their skin. I'm saying it because you're doing something wrong. It has nothing to do with the color of skin. It just has to do with your character.
Yeah.
Your character is fucking flawed. Go
Yeah.
fix it.
Because you don't have any kind of prejudice
Now,
towards some kind of like
whether you this
stereotypical,
color or that color has no fucking bearing on what kind of a character of a person you are, right? So if you're gonna come in and say to me, oh, you're gonna complain like how bad you're living, I don't give a shit what color you are. I'm gonna tell you, stop being a lazy bum and go pull yourself from your bootstraps. That's what I'm gonna tell you. It is what it is. Like, I'm not trying to be racist towards you. I don't have a fucking this thing of white privilege or any of this shit. I'm just telling you because I don't agree with your character trait, not with your color. It has nothing to do with your color. But this is just me, and this is probably why I don't understand it, because I can't see it in my head that like, how do you go and say, well, this person, because of the color of their skin, they're somehow less than this person. You know what I mean? Like, that makes no fucking sense to me.
Well, may I say is one thing could be lack of experience of it happening or it happening in front of you where you recognize it.
Well, I mean, other people using it in that way.
No, like for example, like do you recognize when, like how many can you count the times you've recognized racism in front of you or something to somebody in front of you or around you or whatever it is?
Well, yeah, no, obviously, if somebody uses it in a derogatory way, let's say N-word in a derogatory way towards somebody, like obviously you can say, yeah, like that fucking, you're being racist for no fucking reason. Just
Right.
because of the color of their skin. It's not because of the color of skin they're acting that way. It's because they're acting that way because that's their character. It has nothing to do with their fucking color of skin.
Yeah.
Now, it's your problem that you're constantly dealing with people that act that way. Go find other people of the same color of skin that don't act that way. And there's a lot more of other
I mean, you don't have
people.
to necessarily go find people the same color of skin. You just go find people that aren't fucking idiots.
No, what I'm trying to say, like, yeah, go find other people, but what I'm trying to say, color of skin has nothing to do with the person being smart or not smart, or acting right or not acting right. It just has to do the way you think as a character.
100%.
Like, there's a multitude of things. Your family, your things like that, how you were brought up, have to do more than anything with it, not the color of your skin. You know. Now, if you grow up in a bad neighborhood and this is all you've seen, and you're acting that way, has nothing to do with the color of your skin. It's just you grew up in a shitty ass neighborhood.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it sucks though, because then you have racist people that are gonna project that stereotype. Oh, it's because of the color of your skin.
Yeah.
It's because of the
Well,
color.
they're
of skin,
fucking dumb.
right.
They're dumb, and I don't think I think majority of people are not that.
No, majority of people are.
Majority of people are not that. Now, there's a minority of people that are that. I agree with that, but I don't think majority of people are that.
Yeah.
But again, I'm not woke enough, I guess. So anyway, so that's the Proud Boys situation, guys. They're
have
getting
you-
arrested. And
Miguel, have you ever experienced something like that, like where you're like some kind of like maybe especially because your mom doesn't speak the best English maybe or something like that, like when you're around like people acting some kind of way, right?
Yeah, I've seen it happen before. I've seen my own family be racist towards other people.
yeah.
It's funny when
And
you
I think it has to do with the tribalism, right? Like it has to do with like the ancestral tribalism, where it's like I don't know this group, they look way different than me, they're dangerous, so I'm gonna right away like shun them, and this is what I'm using to shun them, right? I think that's where that comes from.
I think
like,
that
safety aspect.
yeah,
of the
but then
tribe.
you think about it and you really start to understand how shallow minded that thought process is.
You do, but
Yeah.
it takes a lot more. Like you need to see. The thing is, you need to understand where this shit's coming from. An average person doesn't understand why they're the
I
way
get
they
what you're
are.
saying. It's like lizard brain in us. Is what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
the
The lizard brain in
brain
us
in it.
is like I'm used to seeing people just like me, and it's like when I see people like that, it's
Yeah.
like a little wary. I
When
get what you're saying. The whole
People
lizard
are worried
brain.
about like
But
their
nowadays, I
$10
feel,
an hour wage.
nowadays there's no excuse for that.
Yeah, but
Your
when
exposure to stuff, maybe even if it's not even like in your day to day, like your people you see interaction, like the exposure on the internet, bro. Like
yeah, but there's
insane.
like the same things. There's no reason for inbreeding, but Kentucky and West Virginia, you know what I mean? They're still doing it. You know?
Take me
shit.
home.
Yeah. So I mean, there's no reason for those things either. But it's still
Bro,
happening.
have you seen that video of the guy that goes to visit this family out in the fucking woodlands?
And they're all like look
and they're
strange.
all fucked. I'm so sorry to say it that way, but they're
Yeah, like
all
a bunch
like,
of health issues and
bro,
You're
like
talking
one
about Underbelly and the Whitakers.
I think it was, I don't know,
shit. Huh?
maybe.
Pull up.
But
They're
Pull-
called
the
the
what now?
Whitakers.
What
the
is it?
Whitakers. So
Underbelly is the
you know
name
they
of
were
the channel,
they were
and they're called
I,
the Whitakers.
I saw
Oh.
this video of these guys breaking down that video,
Uh-huh.
and they were talking about how they think that the one that was barking,
Yeah.
the one that barks, was showing the guy where one of the brothers was buried. Because when he was asking about the brother, the guy like was just barking and kind of like making señas and like took him to this like patch of grass where it kind of not patch of grass, like this patch of dirt that was
Oh,
like
yeah,
fresh,
I believe-
fresh dug over.
I believe it was Ray. I think that's one of the guys' name.
Which one is it?
It's that one. This one. This one.
That one
This-
barks?
This one barks. I feel so fucked saying this
You're
one.
talking about
He barks.
This gentleman barks?
Yeah,
So
this
that's Ray. I
gentleman.
think that's Ray.
I think that's a little far, saying gentleman. Yeah, he barks, and he took the guy that went to go interview them to the burial site. What looked like a burial site when they were asking like, "Oh, what about this brother? Where's he at?" kind of thing. And
Oh,
no
shit.
one else would talk about it though.
you know,
But he can't talk. That guy that you said barks, he can't talk.
Yeah, he just barks.
He just
And he barks.
Which brother is it that they were talking about? Do you
I don't know. I really don't.
It was one of the brothers, I'm guessing, right?
You really have to give no fucks. Zero to produce all that. Zero.
I mean, it's up
Dude,
in the
after-
woods.
Like,
after,
for example,
after the first one, how do you do it?
That's exactly what I'm saying. For example, you know, you for some reason you fell in love with your cousin and this odd thing happened, right? And then you had sex and you did the first kid. I feel like after the first one, I mean, you already had sex with your cousin. These people are already fucked in their brains. But to assume that they're so far fucked
To
that
play the devil's advocate.
let's play that devil's advocate. They're so far fucked that even after the first one, they just kept going.
I don't think they think there's nothing wrong with that. They think that this is normal.
It was just
And
slow
they were-
Tuesday. It was
and-
just a slow Tuesday in Alabama.
Bruh. All right. So, okay. On another note, we got another article here, and this is about what income do I need to
Fuck,
afford a $700,000 home? So, does your dream home have $700,000 price tag? That's well above National Association of Realtors median price for a home, which July 2023 was $406,000. Guys, $410,000 is the median price of the home. In fucking sane. Assuming a 30-year fixed mortgage and a 20% down payment, which will cost you $140,000 just a down payment, at an interest rate of 6.5%, which right now is close to 8%, your monthly principal and interest payments would be $3,500. This is not including your taxes and insurance, right? Which you're gonna need to carry, which is gonna add probably another close to $500 to $600 a month. So that's probably like a $4,500 payment a month, right?
Try and get the mic in front of you.
That's more than $42,000 per year on a principal and interest alone, right? Round that monthly figure up to around $4,200 to account for, there we go, just like I said, property taxes, homeowner insurance, and potential HOA fees, all of which vary widely. That makes you total annual housing bill at $50,000. Now apply to common rule of thumb that you should spend more than about a third of your income on housing. The $50,000 figure multiplied by 3 counts as $150,000. That is minimum salary you need in order to afford this home purchase. Now, minimum salary, I do agree with that. However, once you count in taxes, state taxes, depending what state you live in, that $150,000, in my opinion, is nowhere near enough for you to own a $700,000 home. You must be out of your fucking mind to buy a $700,000 home at $150,000.
I was about to say, if you're making $150K, I still wouldn't buy $700,000.
Yeah, because you got to think about it. Out of the $150,000, you want to invest into your 401k, you want to put away for your retirement. You're gonna pay taxes on this shit, right? So your $150,000 is gonna be close to about $100,000 after the taxes and investing, right? And then you're paying half of your salary to this, which is you're gonna get probably $8,000 a month tax free, right? You're gonna pay $4,500, and you're gonna only have $4,000 to live off of, which you can technically do that. But that is an insane amount of money to give away for a house. I don't know, guys, what you guys think.
Section of that bitch.
Huh?
You better rent a section of that bitch to be able to afford that.
Income to afford a
They better be
$700K
buying
home.
a $700,000 fucking duplex at least.
Yep. The way they're counting this, they're just doing a straight math on $151,000 coming in at $12,600, which means this is take home $151. If you're taking home $151, you're most likely making $220,000.
Yeah, probably $220.
Yeah, so $220, then yeah, you can kind of look at that. So according to Redfin data from July 2023, the median sell price in many major cities are much less, including Washington, D.C. 617, Denver 580, Miami 580, Phoenix 436, and Atlanta at 385. Just because you can afford to spend $700K doesn't mean you need to, right? What's up, girl? factors that include. So they counted that at 6%, which at 8% your payment is probably going to be at probably about $5,500 a month. So guys,
Sheesh.
think about this shit before you buy a $700,000 home or any other home. So anytime I see articles like this, and I know already they're gonna give you just some dumb numbers, right? Because they can't give you the exact numbers for your area, so they have to give you just like they have to give you the numbers like what's average across the United States, which I think a lot of times is bullshit. Because if you take rural Iowa versus I don't know, even
Pinellas
Atlanta
County.
or even Tampa Bay area. Well, I don't want to take Pinellas County because we're pretty hot. Our market is pretty hot.
Insanely
Let's say
hot.
Atlanta.
Insanely hot.
Yeah, let's say Atlanta. Rural Iowa and Atlanta, the house prices are not going to be the same. Rural Ohio and Atlanta prices are not going to be the same, right? So each area, you should really consider an area that you're buying a home, what we would like. I have a friend of mine that used to live in this area, and he said, fuck this, I don't want to deal with the city, I don't want to deal with it riding around, I'm going to go and live in a rural area. And I think he's right now in Georgia, if I'm not mistaken, but in a small town in Georgia, bunch of acreage, you know what I mean? He likes that vibe, the small town vibe. He has a lot of houses and a lot of land, and that was his thing, right? So you kind of have to think about this when you're purchasing a home, right? So yeah, so that's what you got, guys, and that's, I think this is for our more younger listeners that are thinking to buy a house. So this is what you're looking for. We can do an episode on buying houses as well.
Right now, from what it seems like it's you just don't buy a house right now.
Well, see,
For
here's
personal, you just don't buy a house.
yeah. So I heard this thing which made a whole lot of sense. Unfortunately, this is the situation we're in. There are not a lot of houses on the market. The reason there are not a lot of houses on the market is people that own the houses, they have very low mortgages on these houses, right? So they're not willing to sell, because if the minute they sell these houses, they have to go in and jump into another house that has a much higher mortgage rate, right? So they don't want to sell.
And ain't nobody trying to do that.
Yeah. And people that have cash, they're like, fuck this, I'm not buying this house at 7% interest rate, because including the interest rate in a mortgage payment with this interest rate that I have, amount of money that I'm going to rent, I'm going to put out of my pocket by getting this house. So there's a bunch of people sitting on cash waiting until the interest rate is going to go down. So what's going to happen? Interest rate is going to go down. People are going to start buying houses. The prices of the house is still going to go back up. So it's a
balance.
You know what's a big problem too? The amount of investors just
Yes.
buying up houses and renting them out, and they're just holding on.
Yep.
And holding on. They're not selling.
Yeah.
They're just holding on.
And BlackRock and Vanguard are part of this deal because they've been scooping up houses crazy. They've been scooping up houses like crazy. So the problem here is, if you're an investor and you're sitting on cash right now, you're waiting for these interest rates to go down so you can invest in a house. What's going to happen the minute you start, the bidding wars happen and the prices of homes go up? So the prices of homes are really not going to go down. Interest rate will go down eventually, which I don't think it will anytime soon. Again, I don't think they're going to hike it up again, but there has to be some more economical indicators for them to maybe drop the interest rates, because right now we're still at a 3.5% inflation rate. So that's still kind of high. I think they're going to wait to see what happens with the inflation. If it continue persist or starts going up, then they're going to hike it up again. If it continues the same way, they're not going to do anything. If it starts going down, then they're going to start dropping the interest rate, right?
So I saw this the other day. New Texas law requires that drunk drivers have to pay child support if they kill a child's parent or guardian.
Which was already a law in effect in another state.
Oh, shit, that's...
But now it's Texas. What do you guys think about that?
Makes sense.
Well, how
to
are they
me.
going to do that if they go to prison? You kill someone. You went to prison.
That
How
was
the fuck
that
you
was
going to
that
do
was
that?
my thought was how are you going to be paying these people if you're like probably going to get
prison.
sued the shit out of and taking all your money for it.
For
and
first
be
of all,
in
you kill
prison.
someone, you're probably getting fired out of your job. Because you can't, like, you have a DUI, you can't drive. So how are you going to get to your job? So you're getting fired from your job.
No, you're probably going to be in prison, like you said.
Yeah, you're going to be in prison, so you're definitely getting fired out of your job. So I don't know how you're going to pay the child support. I think it's just... I think
But I
that-
guess this is maybe for people with a lot of money, stuff like this, good lawyers, get out of time, and still have to do the whole DUI thing or whatever. But now they got to pay child support.
But, like, I mean, I don't think there's... Like, I haven't heard...
Besides looking at the fact of how they're going to do it, do you think that it's rightfully so that these people should be paying?
Yeah, I mean, yes, it is, but I think they should come up with something that can be actually, like,
Implemented.
implemented. Like, because, I mean, I don't hear this being I don't hear this being a problem with a bunch
I
of
was about
rich
to say, I
people
wonder
killing
how
parents.
often
You
this
know?
is practicing.
Yeah.
Which I hope not often. I hope people
Yeah.
aren't losing their. I hope people aren't losing their parents often. I
Yeah,
hope
that's
not.
good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
Did you see Rose?
does the age count? Let's say if like
I mean, I'm assuming it's gonna be normal child support stuff, right? Like under 18, this and that.
yeah, because like I don't know if you really.
I mean, maybe that's a good question because, for example, I'm someone who lives under my parents' roof and with support of my parents. If someone were to, God forbid, I don't believe in God, but God forbid, something happened to one of my parents, would I apply to that? Because I'm basically dependent of it.
It would have to be under 18.
I would have to be under 18 to apply to that rule.
Interesting.
Okay. Did you see Rose Namajunas' finger after this last
No.
fight?
Oh, nice.
Happened in the first round.
What did she bump it again?
I don't know.
Did they put it back
I
in
don't know.
place?
Look at this.
Did they put it back in place?
She's a contortionist.
Did it put it back in place?
I don't
Just
know.
kept it away?
I don't know what they did afterwards, but apparently happened in the first round.
Let me see
She
her finger. Let me
sadly
see her hands.
lost the fight.
Dude, she got some ugly ass hands. Holy shit.
I mean, she punches people for
You
a
think she's
living,
good
bro.
at piano?
She's amazing at piano.
Do you think she's good at DJing?
That was a joke, but
Think she's good at
She
DJing?
is. She is actually. There's a whole video on her like playing piano and stuff. Yeah. You didn't know that?
no, I was just
Yeah,
it was
legit.
just total shoot.
Yeah, she did. Legit. She does play piano.
She got long fingers.
One more UFC thing. So, right now, the bantamweight title just moved hands to Sugar Sean after a couple weekends ago. We saw that. There's a lot of talks on who's going to be the next challenger, right? And everyone says, and I rightfully so think Merab deserves the title shot.
Yeah.
Merab or probably Corey Sandhagen. But Aljamain was trying to move up in weight after this fight if he won, and now he's saying since he didn't win, he wants to go back and fight again. What's the whole deal? Because if these guys won't fight each other, right? Merab and Aljamain, right? Because they're best friends or whatever. They won't fight each other. Whoever gets this fight next, then you're no longer the challenger for up next after that either. Like if they win, right? For example, Merab goes and fights him. Like, is Aljamain not going to challenge for the title? What's he going to do after that? And like Dana White is very mad about this because he says if you want to come into the UFC, it's to figure out who's the best. You can be friends with anybody, but if you're not going to fight who's the champion, if you're not ready to fight whoever's the champion, what the fuck are you here for?
Yeah, I think that was the thing with Khabib and his cousin, right? I think that's partially because he was upcoming and they were gonna eventually.
I think Khabib stopped fighting just because of the whole thing with his
Yeah,
father.
he did, and I think
I don't think. I don't know. I wonder what would have happened if Khabib would have kept fighting. Islam would have gotten to where he is now, and he's the one up for the title. And Khabib holds that title.
I don't think they would have fought each other.
You don't think so?
No,
I think they would have.
I don't think they would have.
I think they would have. I think for the right amount of money and all that, yeah.
Because there was a thing where Emelianenko fought his own brother, younger one, and I think younger brother they went into the ring. It was a sambo competition. Went into the ring, and Emelianenko, the younger brother, was standing there. The older one took him, literally grabbed him, made a Uchimata throw. The guy wasn't doing anything, and that's how he won the fight. Because it was like, you're my brother, you're the older brother, you're gonna win. So he's like, okay, we need to fight, we'll fight. I'm gonna lose, I'm gonna throw this fight. And everybody knew that he threw the fight because it's like apparent.
I'm gonna be real honest. I think that if I was in that position and I'm there to figure out who's the best, you could be my dad.
Nah, bro, I'm not fighting.
I think I would.
Why?
But I think that because if it's something that I've already committed to, you've already said, like, if for whatever reason Arthur was already in the UFC,
Yeah.
and then
I'd
you're
quit.
a fighter,
I'd
you're a
quit.
fighter. Would you even go into the UFC?
No, I would go into UFC
Why?
because
That's stupid, right there. That's where I think you made your initial mistake.
Think
Why
about
would
it.
you even go into the UFC?
'Cause
If you
there's
wouldn't-
They're
There's
looking
a-
at it,
Father.
but they're looking at it as a sports association. So it's like, LeBron going against his son, if he makes it to the NBA, you think he's not going to go against him?
He definitely would.
He will, because he has to. It's a sports associate. That's kind of what Dana White's trying to get at.
Yeah,
So,
you're here to be the best, right? Regardless of who's against you. You're here
It
to
don't
be the
matter
best.
if your daddy's the king. You're still going to compete.
Right. And this is my thing. I get that if you guys want to both
No,
be
no,
fighters,
I mean-
go compete for Bellator. Go compete
No, no,
for
no.
one.
What I'm saying is now you have double the chance that someone out of the family is going to win the first place. Now, let's say Arthur's in there, I'm coming in just like that, or I'm in there, Arthur's coming in, and we both get to the point where he's number 2 and I'm number 1. At that point, I'm saying, you know what? I'm not gonna fight. I'm vacating. He can have the fucking belt. Either way. Yeah, because I'm not gonna give out that integrity. Why would I fight him? Because we're both fighting for the same exact thing, and we're both made it to that level. I don't give a shit who's better, him or I.
I, in the sense, agree with you in the sense that I wouldn't probably want to fight the person. But if you got into the UFC in the first place, you should be ready to fight them.
No.
Yes.
UFC wants their champion, he's your champion. He's the person, you give him the belt. He won.
You have to remember, you got to be there in the with the mindset that I need to be the best.
Nope. I need to be the best against everyone else, not against family.
Oh my God! Everyone in that division.
Okay,
Yeah, bro,
Dominic
because
Toretto.
here's the thing, like, I don't give a shit about anybody else. Like, my family is more important to me than anyone else.
He said, family.
Yeah, family.
Dominic Toretto.
Yeah, Dominic Toretto.
Oh, shit.
All right, guys, we're past a little over 30.
All right, guys. Thank you, everyone who came into chat. Everyone, like and subscribe. Drop some comments in the chat. Real quick,
Yeah,
shout
guys,
out.
we'll have most likely a guest for you next week.
Yeah, we should have guests steady for the next couple weeks, I think. Shout out Vitality, Vitality Recovery and Wellness Center. Go and check out Vitality, guys. If you haven't been there yet, go do that. I promise you will not regret it.